The AI war has begun, representing a massive trillion-dollar battle for global dominance. Microsoft and Google are aggressively deploying tens of billions to conquer artificial intelligence immediately. To uncover the hidden financial wars shaping our technological future, subscribe to Market Legends. Artificial intelligence is undeniably the most profound technological shift since the modern Internet era. It fundamentally promises to reshape the entire foundational structure of the modern global economy. For over 2 decades, Google held an absolutely unassailable monopoly over Internet search completely. The Mountain View giant essentially organized the world information and monetized human curiosity flawlessly. Google generates hundreds of billions of dollars annually from highly targeted search advertisements globally. This incredibly lucrative search monopoly funded massive, unprecedented investments into experimental computer science continually. In 2014, Google acquired the brilliant London-based artificial intelligence lab DeepMind. They reportedly spent over $500 million to secure this absolute intellectual brainpower. Google quickly became the undisputed pioneer of modern, highly advanced machine learning technologies worldwide. Their visionary engineers relentlessly pushed the boundaries of complex neural networks and complex algorithms. In 2017, Google researchers published a completely historic, world-altering academic paper. The groundbreaking paper was simply and famously titled, "Attention is all you need publicly." It officially introduced the transformer architecture to the global computer science academic community permanently. This specific architecture allowed machines to perfectly understand context within vast sequences of data. The transformer is the fundamental underlying technology behind all modern generative artificial intelligence systems. Google practically handed the mathematical blueprint for the future directly to the entire world. However, the tech giant was incredibly cautious about deploying this powerful new technology commercially. They fiercely protected their incredibly profitable, perfectly optimized search engine revenue business model entirely. Introducing conversational artificial intelligence could directly cannibalize their massive, highly lucrative advertising clicks instantly. This classic corporate dilemma effectively paralyzed Google from releasing consumer-facing generative intelligence rapidly. Meanwhile, a massive corporate rival was quietly plotting an unprecedented, highly aggressive technological comeback. Microsoft had largely missed the explosive, highly profitable mobile smartphone revolution entirely and completely. Under CEO Satya Nadella, Microsoft executed a brilliant, massive strategic pivot toward cloud computing. Azure became a massive, highly profitable growth engine for the legendary Seattle Software Corporation. But Nadella fully recognized that cloud infrastructure alone would not guarantee future dominance forever. He needed a paradigm-shifting technological advantage to directly challenge Google's immense consumer power. Microsoft identified a relatively small, highly ambitious artificial intelligence research laboratory named OpenAI effectively. Founded in 2015, OpenAI aimed to develop highly advanced artificial general intelligence. The ambitious startup desperately required massive computational power to train their incredibly complex models. Training advanced neural networks requires tens of thousands of incredibly expensive, highly specialized microchips. In 2019, Microsoft made a stunning, highly strategic billion-dollar corporate investment. They deliberately partnered with OpenAI to become their exclusive, dedicated cloud computing provider globally. This brilliant alliance provided OpenAI with the massive supercomputing infrastructure they desperately needed immediately. In exchange, Microsoft secured exclusive commercial rights to commercialize OpenAI highly advanced technologies fully. It was a masterstroke of corporate strategy that completely bypassed traditional internal software development. Microsoft essentially outsourced their artificial intelligence innovation to the smartest external researchers on Earth. Behind closed doors, OpenAI utilized Microsoft massive supercomputers to train increasingly massive language models. They systematically ingested enormous portions of the entire public internet into their complex algorithms. The resulting language models became exponentially more sophisticated, articulate, and incredibly, shockingly capable functionally. Google executives were fully aware of OpenAI's rapid, highly impressive technological progress internally continually. Yet, they maintained their highly cautious, heavily restricted approach to public consumer product releases. They genuinely feared the severe reputational damage of releasing biased or completely inaccurate information. Google's massive corporate bureaucracy prioritized safety and heavily protected their core search monopoly completely. In late 2022, that cautious corporate strategy was violently shattered forever. OpenAI released a simple, highly accessible web interface called ChatGPT directly to the public. The global consumer reaction was absolutely unprecedented and totally historically staggering in sheer scale. ChatGPT acquired 100 million active users in exactly 2 incredibly short consecutive months. It officially became the fastest-growing consumer software application in the history of humanity. The world was completely mesmerized by the platform's amazing ability to instantly generate text. It could flawlessly write complex computer code, compose poetry, and clearly summarize massive documents. Suddenly, the traditional process of typing keywords into a search bar felt completely obsolete. Users realized they could simply ask a smart chatbot for a direct, comprehensive answer. For the first time ever, Google faced a truly existential global technological threat immediately. The massive Silicon Valley giant immediately declared a highly classified corporate code read internally. Founders Larry Page and Sergey Brin were urgently called back into strategic board meetings. The intense panic inside Google headquarters was absolutely palpable and completely leaked to journalists. Microsoft ruthlessly capitalized on this sudden, highly unexpected moment of immense corporate technological vulnerability. In January 2023, Microsoft announced a massive $10 billion investment. They aggressively cemented their highly exclusive, deeply integrated partnership with the OpenAI Research Laboratory. Satya Nadella boldly declared that the entire software landscape was fundamentally changing forever today. Microsoft immediately began deeply integrating OpenAI advanced technology directly into their core commercial products. They completely revamped their struggling Bing search engine with a highly powerful conversational interface. Nadella publicly stated he specifically wanted people to know that Microsoft made Google dance. It was a highly aggressive, direct declaration of absolute technological and fierce financial warfare. Google was forcefully compelled to rush their own generative artificial intelligence consumer product launch. They hastily unveiled Bard, their direct conversational competitor to the wildly popular ChatGPT system. The highly anticipated public demonstration of Bard was an absolute, completely unmitigated public disaster. In a promotional video, the artificial intelligence confidently provided a completely factually incorrect answer. The global financial markets reacted with absolute, ruthless brutality to this major public embarrassment. Alphabet's massive market capitalization plummeted by $100 billion in a single day. Investors were completely terrified that Google was rapidly losing its undisputed global technological edge. The narrative had shifted entirely from Google's absolute dominance to their sudden immense vulnerability. Microsoft's aggressive integration of Copilot into their lucrative Office suite was a strategic masterclass. They seamlessly embedded advanced artificial intelligence directly into Word, Excel, and PowerPoint software applications. This strategic move instantly monetized the technology for hundreds of millions of enterprise users. Corporations happily paid significant premium subscriptions to massively increase their employee productivity almost overnight. Microsoft Azure cloud revenue absolutely skyrocketed as massive global demand for computing power surged. The financial markets overwhelmingly rewarded Microsoft for their bold, highly decisive strategic business actions. Microsoft officially surpassed Apple to briefly become the most valuable public corporation on Earth. Their total market valuation briefly eclipsed a staggering $3 trillion in financial value. Google found itself in the highly uncomfortable position of aggressively playing rapid technological catch-up. They desperately needed to prove they still possessed the smartest engineering talent globally today. Google violently merged their two premier artificial intelligence research labs, DeepMind and Google Brain. They completely streamlined their massive corporate structure to successfully accelerate critical product development cycles. This massive internal reorganization signaled a complete shift toward wartime corporate operational efficiency immediately. The stakes were absolutely astronomical, requiring completely unprecedented massive capital expenditure budgets annually forever. Training these massive models required securing highly scarce, incredibly expensive NVIDIA graphics processing units. Both technology titans engaged in a massive, totally unprecedented global hardware purchasing frenzy immediately. They are currently spending tens of billions constructing massive, energy-intensive global data centers. The sheer scale of this heavy infrastructure investment actively rivals massive sovereign national budgets. The global war for absolute artificial intelligence supremacy is merely entering its opening phase. To follow this incredible financial battle continuously, please subscribe to Market Legends today now. The monumental scale of Google's highly anticipated counterattack fundamentally altered the global tech landscape. Google officially introduced Gemini, their incredibly advanced, highly sophisticated, multimodal artificial intelligence model, globally. Unlike previous iterations, Gemini was meticulously designed from its inception to seamlessly process everything. It could natively understand and analyze complex text, intricate computer code, audio, and video. Google heavily emphasized that their ultimate model outperformed OpenAI systems across numerous academic benchmarks. The artificial intelligence arms race had officially evolved from simple text into multimodal dominance. Both technology behemoths recognized that controlling the foundation models meant controlling the entire future. Microsoft continued their relentless, highly aggressive offensive strategy by expanding their strategic OpenAI partnership. They deeply integrated advanced artificial intelligence into Windows, transforming the entire personal computing experience. Copilot became a ubiquitous, highly intelligent digital assistant embedded within every Microsoft software product. Enterprise customers eagerly embraced these powerful new tools to significantly reduce massive operational costs. The lucrative enterprise software market officially became the primary financial battlefield for both corporations. Google aggressively deployed their Gemini technology directly into Workspace to fiercely protect market share. They rapidly integrated advanced generative capabilities into Docs, Sheets, and their massive Gmail platform. The corporate objective was to completely prevent Microsoft from stealing their valuable enterprise customers. However, the ultimate prize in this massive trillion-dollar conflict remains the absolute search. Microsoft heavily bet that conversational interfaces would permanently break Google's absolute search engine monopoly. If users received direct answers from Bing, they would never click traditional search advertisements. This specific scenario represented an absolute, existential, financial nightmare for Google core business model. To completely neutralize this threat, Google launched an entirely new generative search experience globally. They began placing comprehensive artificial intelligence-generated summaries directly at top of search results. This massive architectural shift fundamentally changed how billions of users access information online daily. By providing immediate answers, Google successfully defended its massive user base from Microsoft attacks. But this defensive strategy came with massive, unprecedented, and highly complex financial computing costs. Generating a complex artificial intelligence response requires significantly more expensive computational power than searching. Every single generative query systematically erodes Google's historically massive, highly lucrative search profit margins. The underlying economics of the entire modern Internet are currently undergoing a violent restructuring. Both Microsoft and Google are essentially subsidizing the massive cost of artificial intelligence compute. They are willing to temporarily burn billions to completely secure long-term global dominance. This incredible financial warfare heavily relies on the physical infrastructure of modern cloud computing. The true bottleneck in this arms race is not software, but physical silicon microchips. NVIDIA emerged as the undisputed, highly lucrative supplier of advanced graphics processing computing units. Their highly specialized hardware is absolutely essential for training and running complex neural networks. Microsoft and Google are currently purchasing hundreds of thousands of incredibly expensive NVIDIA microchips. The staggering capital expenditures of these two giants are completely reshaping global supply chains. They're actively designing their own custom silicon chips to eventually reduce NVIDIA dominance. Google successfully developed their specialized tensor processing units to efficiently run massive internal workloads. Microsoft proudly unveiled their custom Maya artificial intelligence accelerators to power massive Azure servers. Vertical integration of physical hardware has become an absolute strategic necessity for both titans. The environmental impact of this massive computational escalation is also becoming increasingly highly problematic. Training next-generation frontier models requires massive, completely unprecedented amounts of physical electrical power. Both corporations are desperately investing in nuclear and geothermal energy to power their data centers. The physical footprint of artificial intelligence is expanding rapidly across the entire global landscape. Beyond the intense corporate rivalry, this technological arms race carries profound, immense societal implications. The rapid deployment of highly capable artificial intelligence systems actively threatens millions of jobs. Creative industries, software engineering, and traditional customer service are facing massive, immediate technological disruption. Regulators worldwide are desperately scrambling to comprehend and successfully control this exploding technological paradigm. Copyright lawsuits are currently multiplying as publishers aggressively sue over unlicensed training data usage. Both Microsoft and Google are facing incredibly intense legal and intense governmental antitrust scrutiny. They have pledged to develop artificial intelligence responsibly, but the intense competitive pressure remains. Releasing a slower, safer model simply means instantly losing massive market share to competitors. This dangerous dynamic creates an incredibly risky, highly volatile race to the absolute bottom. Open-source artificial intelligence models are also actively disrupting the perfectly controlled corporate duopoly. Meta aggressively released their powerful Llama models for free to the global developer community. This completely open approach actively commoditizes the foundational technology that Google and Microsoft protect. However, training the absolute largest frontier models still requires completely inaccessible, massive financial capital. Only highly capitalized megacorporations can comfortably afford to spend billions on single runs. The ultimate endgame of this massive corporate conflict remains entirely uncertain and deeply fascinating. Microsoft brilliantly leveraged an external startup to successfully reinvigorate their entire aging software empire. Google successfully mobilized its massive resources to fiercely defend its absolute core search monopoly. The rapid pace of innovation actively happening today is completely unprecedented in human history. New models are consistently released every few months, systematically shattering previous technological performance benchmarks. artificial general intelligence is no longer considered a distant, impossible science fiction fantasy concept. Leading researchers genuinely believe highly autonomous, super-intelligent systems could arrive within this decade. The corporation that successfully achieves this milestone will likely dominate the entire global economy. They will perfectly control the ultimate foundational cognitive infrastructure of the entire modern world. This profound realization actively drives the ruthless, massive financial expenditures we are currently witnessing. Google possesses the absolute distinct advantage of owning its complete, massive global hardware ecosystem. Android smartphones provide an incredibly massive, direct distribution channel for their advanced Gemini models. Microsoft possesses the absolute distinct advantage of completely dominating the lucrative corporate enterprise sector. Their deeply entrenched software distribution network guarantees immediate monetization of artificial intelligence software tools. OpenAI remains a massive, highly unpredictable wildcard in this complex, evolving corporate dynamic. While deeply partnered with Microsoft, they are actively building their own lucrative consumer business. OpenAI's incredible, massive valuation recently soared past an absolutely astonishing $80 billion total dollars. They are aggressively developing independent search capabilities that could eventually threaten Google directly today. The complex relationship between Microsoft and OpenAI may eventually experience severe, intense strategic friction. For now, they remain absolutely united in their relentless, highly aggressive assault against Google. We are currently witnessing the absolute greatest corporate battle in modern business history unfold. The sheer amount of wealth being actively created and actively destroyed is truly staggering. Billions of human lives will be fundamentally altered by the outcome of this conflict. The artificial intelligence revolution will systematically reshape education, modern healthcare, and global scientific discovery. Every single industry on Earth will be forcefully optimized by these incredibly powerful systems. The fierce rivalry between these two specific giants guarantees rapid, continuous, highly disruptive innovation. Stagnation is absolutely impossible when survival requires constant, highly aggressive technological advancement and expansion. Google and Microsoft are locked in an incredibly high-stakes, absolutely global technological conflict. The ultimate winner will essentially architect the foundational operational systems of our collective future. The ultimate loser will slowly fade into absolute irrelevance alongside previous technological hardware dinosaurs. This incredibly profound transformation requires careful, continuous observation by every single global economic participant. Understanding these massive corporate dynamics is absolutely essential for navigating our rapidly changing reality. The digital foundation of tomorrow is being violently forged in the server farms today. We will continue to systematically monitor this incredible massive artificial intelligence arms race closely. The future belongs entirely to the machines, but the immense profits belong to shareholders. Thank you for exploring the definitive history of the greatest technological war ever fought. Stay highly informed as this massive global corporate conflict continues to violently escalate daily. For more unparalleled business documentaries and deep market insights, please subscribe to Market Legends.